How you doing, guys? This is Eric from RuleTheWasteland.com and BuyThermite.com. I made a video about 2 days ago, which I was about to upload, and the content of the video is about how in the past couple years, and specifically in the past couple months, a lot of what was previously thought of as conspiracy theory has been proven right. And before I could even upload that video, we had these new things come out about how certain forces have been literally paying people to agitate at rallies, to start fights at Donald Trump rallies, which was something that was people assumed was going on because you could tell how the way these things played out, but there was no proof of. Now there's proof of it. And also the same group on video on James O'Keefe's video exposés talking about how they directly engage in voter fraud by busing people to the polls, sometimes even buying used cars, registering to different businesses to get people there in personal vehicles so it doesn't look as obvious as a bus showing up, which is what they used to do in Iowa and stuff specifically. So the video will come on right after this, but these are just two more examples, two huge ones of just in the last 2 days of how conspiracy theories have been proven right over the past couple months and years. This video is about how we've seen in the last few years, particularly in the last year to 6 months, we've seen almost a complete vindication of the group of people that were previously known as conspiracy theories, at least when it comes to American politics. I'm not talking about things on the farther reaches of the conspiracy theory level, like chemtrails and reptilian overlords and shit like that, because that stuff is for the most part fairly ridiculous. I'll probably do another video on why I don't think chemtrails are a real thing, at least not to the extent that is put out there. But we've seen quite a few things when it comes to American politics be exposed as being pure truth, things that were previously thought to just be outrageous conspiracy theories. We have media collusion with political candidates, direct media collusion with political candidates. We've seen that with the latest release of all these emails from Hillary Clinton saying that they'd literally, run their stories by her, asking if stuff is okay, things like that, completely scrubbing certain stories and burying them, promoting other stories. If you look at this just goes beyond mere bias on the part of the individual anchors and things like that. This is a calculated, concerted effort across multiple media organizations to support one candidate over another, lots of times with direct favors and communication and money being exchanged. Now, if there was someone who just doesn't like a candidate or another, you obviously see small evidences of bias in the way things they say or the way they do things, and that's based on just the nature of human beings, and that's to be expected no matter what. That's why I don't really believe in the idea of a totally unbiased journalist. What you need to do is realize what a journalist's biases are, or very good journalists realize what their own biases are, and at least make them known and are forthright about it. And so you still see a little bit of bias. But I'm talking about actually communicating with the candidates, planning how they're going to promote certain aspects and bury others, the massive amounts of time that are given to certain quote-unquote scandals while others are buried. I mean, we've seen skews on these latest things. Like I just made a video about the massive amounts of scandals that Hillary Clinton has uncovered with these WikiLeaks releases, and we've still seen something like a normal news night will have 9 or 10 minutes related to Trump and his supposed scandals, which are, to most laymen, obviously bogus, just based on the nature of the complaints and the evidence that doesn't support them, versus things that are literally been proven. They're not even denying them, and they get like 30 seconds if they cover them at all, things like that. And we've seen proof within the past few years that the IRS, that certain branches of, not branches, but certain organizations, institutions within the federal government are being used to crack down on people who have opposing political views. I mean, people are acting like this is not a big deal. Well, not that it's not a big deal, but they're like, oh yeah, we knew this was coming. And it's like, yeah, the hell you did. Everyone would say things like that, but when you really tried to convince people that this was really happening, they would try and tell you that either it's no big deal or it's not really happening. It might at some point, but it doesn't really happen. Now these people are being sued. We've had them admit and even apologize for doing it. High-level IRS executives. Like, this is absolute proof that the most disdained federal organization, the IRS, the most feared in many ways, has actually been used punitively by the government for people who oppose them politically, or at least oppose their beliefs politically. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. We have the Bernie Sanders and Ron Paul being absolutely schlonged, for lack of a better word, in the primary process. Ron Paul a few years ago, and then the absolute proof of the Bernie Sanders situation came out just recently, again with these email things. So this was another thing that people would say was just a massive conspiracy theory that, oh, this is all fair, they're just not getting enough support, it's not really as crazy as you think, they have a small minority of people who supporting them, they're very vocal, but the support just isn't there. We're seeing that that's not necessarily the case, that they're actually being railroaded in many ways by these organizations. We've seen the Clinton Foundation emails being released, pay-for-play folders being uncovered. We're seeing foreign governments making literal cash payments to the organization in exchange for things like uranium rights and things like that. So actual corruption in the federal government, things that people would never believe were actually happening. I mean, they have these vague notions that politicians are corrupt, but if you came out and said, oh, this only happened because they literally paid government officials for it, people tended to not believe that stuff and think that you're a conspiracy theory. And all this has been exposed in the past couple of years. We have proof that George Soros and other insanely rich oligarchs across the world are attempting to manipulate the political process in various countries, including the U.S., with payments, things like actual paid shills online for Hillary Clinton and other candidates that are being, organizations that are being paid to have people go online and run interference, make comments on websites and other things like that, pretending to be real grassroots type people, actually being paid to make these kind of political comments. We're seeing proof in one of the biggest things that I've noticed that people would always give me shit about was saying that for the most part the Democratic and the Republican parties were virtually identical. Now I'm not talking about the rank and file members as I mentioned in previous videos. I'm talking about the actual parties. We've seen proof that they've outed themselves completely, proving that they're all part of the same globalist agenda. There may be a couple little issues that they diverge on to, to actually make it look like they're separate, or that it's just something that the globalists don't care about, so they let the people take their own stance. But we've seen proof with Donald Trump. These people are uniting against someone who's actually going against the globalist agenda in support of nationalist policies, pro-American policies. That's the big difference. Yes, they have different stances. They believe different things, like on gun control, little abortion, maybe little things here and there, different tax policies. But when it comes down to it, these parties are both in support of a globalist agenda over top of nationalist policies that would actually put America first. They don't care about putting America first in their decision making. They have people that they're taking their orders from, or they're taking their money from, and we've seen actual proof of that stuff come out in the past few years. So it's an interesting time to be someone who's a so-called conspiracy theorist about this stuff over the years, and we're seeing proof after proof, evidence after evidence of these things come out that just lay this stuff bare, stuff that we've been talking about for years, stuff that would, they call you a Alex Jones nut job for even mentioning seriously, even as little as 2 or 3 years ago, is now just common knowledge that's just been actually proven. So it's, I don't know if that's good or bad. It's good, obviously, that it's been uncovered and laid bare for the harsh light of the sun, but it's not good that it really is as bad as we thought. It would probably be better if it really wasn't all this bad, and because there's not much that we can do about it for in many of these instances, other than keep trying to expose this, make sure people know about it, and take our opportunities, like I believe with Trump, to support people who, as much as you might not like him, are outside of this political machine, this globalist political machine. Let me know what you guys think. Make some comments, and I'll talk to you later.